This haystack stitch, I felt like a witch when I was doing it. Hi y'all, welcome back to Feelin' Froggy Knits. My name is Maya and let's do a little studio vlog. The last video that I posted was my husband and I revamping, let's say, this room, and I've done a lot since then. By a lot, I mean I hung up some artwork on the walls and my little IKEA lanterns, and we just added a bunch more stuff, aka yarn, to this room because I have a problem. I thought this would be a fun way to show this space off, you know, all the different angles, me knitting, showing stuff, and also doing a little more than halfway through the year update on my Make 9 for this year. I've actually made more than I thought I would have at this point, mainly the small stuff, and all the bigger stuff is just, oops. Today there are a couple of things I want to do. I've already got some stuff done. One being washing and now blocking my Nana's birthday present. I'm very excited to give this to her. It is the first time I've ever put a hand knit item in a washing machine, and I was a bit terrified. It seems to be doing okay. All my ends have stayed in. It's 100% cotton, so there was definitely some fear of, you know, that unraveling because, you know, cotton. But I thought I would just kind of talk through some of the things I've been doing recently, what's really, you know, sparking joy. That's the only thing I can think of right now. It's really been my cup of tea. Insert more clever thing to say what I've been working on. I am going to knit on the Rannerdale sweater that I started with some yarn that I got from the Wine Country yarn hop. I immediately wound it up and started knitting on it and worked on the yoke 3 times, but I think this one is the one that will stick. I hope so. It's the furthest I've gotten and the most yarn I've used from my previous attempts. I'm going to cake up some yarn for a couple of different projects, which I'm, of course, very stoked about. And, you know, maybe you all will get to see more of the, you know, Project Palace 2.0. Also, I am wearing a knitted item today. Will I be able to show it? Probably not, because it's on my foot. Let's see if I can. Ooh. I should stretch before doing that. Those are my Shrimply the Best socks. It's a pattern by Charlotte Stone of Stone Knits. Gosh, I use so many different yarns. They honestly need to be washed, but I can't wear these specific shoes without these socks because I just think they were meant for each other and they didn't even know it. Yay! We're back. We're back. Okay, we are on my couch and I thought I would show you the 2 whips that I'm currently working on, and then the yarns that I'm going to wind up and the projects that I'm going to do with those. Again, this is the Rannerdale and it is by Carrie Helene Rain, and I'm pretty sure it was made for the yarn brand The Fiber Co. So I'm assuming that that is the yarn that's being used for the sweater. I'm not using the suggested yarn. This yarn that I'm using is Eco Puna by Amano. It's 100% baby alpaca. There's the label and it is color 9016. What a beautiful name for a color. What, I forget what this is called, marled? I can't remember, but it's like a cream. It's not actually cream. It looks like it's cream on camera, but it's like a very cool white and a very, very light gray. And here is what I have got so far. Still working on the yoke. I'm just going to be continuing on that. It's got this lovely cable motif along down the entire sleeve, and I just really love that. Kind of like a nice, sorry about the needles clacking together. I got these at the yarn hop. They're I think they're called like Cypra from Licca needles, and they're copper. It's got a nice folded collar, which with a raglan, I don't know. I'm like, do I need to do this with every raglan? Because otherwise it does give it kind of a square shape. The collar is so stretchy. I think because it is alpaca, and alpaca, it grows when you wash and block it. And this alpaca yarn, some alpaca yarns are pretty, like they can get a little scratchy for me, but this baby alpaca is insane. The second whip that I'll be working on is a Tolsta tee by Creabea. I was originally making this for myself, as most of my projects are for myself, but I made it in the size of the one that I made earlier. So this was on my Make 9. I've already made one, and I had this yarn and I was like, let's do this one. So I just did the same size, same needles, didn't swatch what's new. And it is so much smaller than I would have initially liked. So here, look how tiny it looks. I've decided to make it and give it to my sister. Thankfully, I was able to have a conversation with her on the phone and get her exact length measurements that she would like, but I tried it on and I just know it'll be a nice little, like, just a slightly baggy, not tight, but on me it was like everything was stretching. So I was like, no. Yesterday I finished the hem. I always forget what this is called. Anyways, so now I just need to do the sleeves and the ribbing for the sleeves, and that is it. I know if I started this today, like started doing the sleeves today, I could finish it. So maybe we'll be doing that. But that's the thing, is that I'm gonna be winding up some other yarn and doing some other projects. So we shall see about that. Some of the yarn that I'm going to be caking up for projects is for the Beauty Berry shawl by Life is Cozy, or Ksenia. She had a little, I guess you could call it a trunk show at Fiber Circle Studio, which is in Petaluma, California. I saw her a couple years ago at the Bay Area Yarn Crawl at the Royal Bee, which I believe is in Pacifica. This is all from memory, so I could be wrong. I got yarn and made one of her shawls this year. I made the Strawflower shawl. It was so fun. I've never really been a shawl knitter, but I can see why y'all are into it. It is quite addicting, especially with all of the different like lace or cable motifs that you can incorporate into a shawl pattern. My friend from my knitting group and I went to this yarn hop together, and we saw this mini skein set, and we were like, oh, that needs to be in a project. I was initially thinking socks because that's what I always think, but then we saw this Beauty Berry shawl. And we were like, oh, it would be perfect. Pardon the noise, but this set of mini skeins, it's 10, I believe, mini skeins, and it's an 85% superwash merino and 15% neon Donegal knit, I think. So that's the little neon bits in each color. And it is from Playful Day Yarns from the Funfetti Summertime collection. We were trying to think of what color would work best with that as like the main color, I guess, of the shawl. And we just could not, just because there's so many different colors in there, we just landed on undyed natural fiber. So this is a Scrumptious Sock 2.0 is what it's called, and it's a 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon. Again, this is from Fiber Circle Studio. Got 2 of these to make this gorgeous shawl with. Just to say, Ksenia is quite literally so lovely and nice and wonderful. It was so fun to see her again. Another one of my knitting friends is friends with her. That's actually how myself and Meredith became friends, which was really cute and like serendipitous. Maybe we'll talk about that later. Now I've got one that it was a free pattern from Castaway Yarn Shop, which is in Santa Rosa, California. I'm pretty sure the link for that was sent to my email, so let me check because I cannot remember what it was called. It's like if I buy a yarn pattern, I will remember the name mostly, but if I don't, then I'm like, oh. This is called the Easy Double Tube Hat Pattern. It is by Justine Malone. I saw a sample of it at the yarn shop with this yarn that I got, and I just saw this yarn and I went, yeah, I'm gonna need that right now. This is Plucky Knitter is what the yarn brand is, and it's Plume DK. It is a baby Surrey alpaca and silk. So it only takes one skein of this to make this hat. So I was like, can't afford not to. You know what I'm saying? I used to like make videos of myself where I was winding up yarn and I tried to make it look all cute. But honestly, with this much yarn to cake up, I'm gonna look like a little gremlin. Just like hunchback, like, come on. I gotta get through 10 of these minis. It makes you really rethink things, but also not, because I have so much yarn now. It's kind of bizarre. Anyways, okay, I'm gonna go do that, get in my gremlin mode of caking up yarn, and I will be right back. Right now. That took so long. Oh. But now I get to cast on something cute. This yarn was such a pain just because it was really like sticking together a lot. If y'all have watched me before, you know I went to the University of Kentucky, whose colors are this blue and white. This will be my Go Cats hat. Oh, I really want to get started on this shawl. I just know once I start and I pick it up, I will not be able to put it down. I think I'm gonna start on the shawl first. And of course I have my little friend, my little Willow, to help, who's in a basket. There you are, sweet girl. Oh. Look at everybody. The Beauty Berry shawl is harder than I thought it would be. There is this one stitch in it that I just like cannot wrap my brain around, and thankfully another person in my knitting group is making this exact shawl, and my knitting group is tomorrow. So rather than try and, you know, mess it up, I put it aside because of course I caked up this yarn and I started on the hat. I did a provisional cast on here, so that's why the white is there. This is one of those hats where you don't do any increases or decreases for the crown. You cinch it up and it's double layered, so right now it's pretty thin, but I'm almost positive when you fold it over on itself, it's gonna feel way thicker. I'm just gonna knit this as a tube until it's gone. So that's really nice. I'm like, won't have any leftovers to try and come up with a plan for. I really wanted to work more on that Beauty Berry shawl. I just don't want to mess it up. And so I thought I'd start spinning a braid that I got. I haven't done much spinning on this channel. I did a video with my friend Ona a couple of years ago. Drop spindling can be kind of hard and obviously requires a lot of practice. I kind of like very intermittently picked it up and put it down until I got I don't even know what they're called. I got wool. I don't know, one day I just had this urge to spin yarn and I wound up, no pun intended, spinning this in like 2 days or something. I used this drop spindle right here to do it. It's pretty thin, or I guess it doesn't weigh a lot, so it does tend to make, or can make, thicker yarn. I'm going to make a hat with it eventually because I have no plain hats. I was like, I need to make a neutral hat, I say, as I'm making this like insanely bright blue one. That'll be for another time, knitting with my own hand spun yarn. And it's gonna be a hat, which is nice because this is a single ply. And so I'm gonna pair it with some mohair, and I think that will really help with the thickness and not having a lot. I probably should weigh it. During the Wine Country Yarn Hop, I got this braid and it is so gorgeous. You're not even ready for. I've like tried to spin a little bit right there because I just wanted to do it so bad. This is by Kim Dyes Yarn. There's the label and her website if you are interested. I know I would be if I just saw this on a screen somewhere. It is a 75% BFL and 25% Tussa silk, which apparently one of my friends in my knitting group said that silk can be a little bit harder to spin, but because BFL has such a long staple length, which is just like the length of each individual fiber, that will make it easier. I thought I would start spinning with this today. I'm so beyond excited to work with this. I still had this on my drop spindle and I like rushed to get it done because I just wanted to spin with this so bad. For some reason, I'm just not really itching to get a wheel. I mean, I would love to have one, but I have a lot of fun with the drop spindle. Can kind of hurt my back. I know that I'm not like the best at it and probably could learn a lot. Like if there's ever a drop spindle class near me, I will be taking it because I don't know, I'm doing it the way that makes sense to me, and I don't know if that is necessarily the best way, but it's my way. My way or the highway. Oh my gosh, watching these colors come together is insane. I'm always so bad at this part. This is how we'll start. Okay. Oh, it is so... Are you having fun? I'm having a lot of fun. I guess I don't know if it's entertaining though. I think I should just focus. It is Monday, which is my knitting group day, and I just got back from my local coffee shop. So much fun. Definitely more knitting than filming done, but that's the way that I like it. And thank you so much, Marguerite, for actually knowing how to do this stitch. I was truly flabbergasted. I'm sure y'all clocked it yesterday when I started knitting on this, and then I stopped because I was at a loss for words. Thank you so much for your help, Marguerite. And this is what it looks like so far. Definitely looks better if I stretch it out. I'm on to my second color. I've actually finished, or no, almost finished with my second color, and then I'll go on to my third and then continue on just like that. I just feel so fulfilled after my Monday night knitting. What more could you ask for? Oh, and hello, you know I had to wear my Strawflower shawl that I mentioned yesterday. Oh, and now I think I'm just going to knit on my shawl because just like with anything that is stripy, all you want to do is see the next color. I do have to concentrate on this. I can't actually talk and knit this at the same time. I guess it's not potato chippy. Well, maybe it is because it's one of those things where it's like you can't stop eating them, I guess. Anyways, it's neat. Maybe spin some more. I spun so much yesterday. Oh, I should probably show you. This is where I ended things last night. I don't really know what I'm doing in regards to the colors and how to like separate them from the braid to get what I want. Like I just simply do not know how to do that. So I'm just kind of going for it. Whatever yarn comes out, and I know that I will just be overjoyed with it because it is already So beautiful. It is called Chesapeake Sunset, and it looks like literally the most idyllic sunset. You know, like one of those sunsets that you only see in the parking lot of a grocery store. You will never see a more beautiful sunset than in the parking lot of a grocery store. Okay, knitting time. It's Tuesday. I just got home from the dentist. So fun. Guys, I'm going to talk about an unpopular opinion today. I don't like the dentist. I'm not like the other girls. I am getting a bunch of dental work done this week, and I'm really hoping I'll be able to finish this vlog because I'm getting, oh gosh, y'all, it's a lot. I got caps on my 2 front teeth, and they're temporary caps. They are so much more yellow than my teeth are. I'm covering my mouth because I feel a little embarrassed, but I'm like, these ain't my teeth. Maybe from far away you can't tell, but they're so much more yellow than my teeth are. But I am back, and I'm gonna be knitting on my Beauty Berry shawl. Already to color number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm about to do the bobble round, and it's not looking so great right now, but I think that's just because blocking is really gonna, I always say that, but I really do think it, because like when I stretch it out like this, I think it looks really good. Get that garter stretched out. Y'all saw my husband and I went on a little date night to our favorite sushi restaurant. We started this thing at our favorite restaurant where we rate every roll that we get and we mark it down so that we don't get the same roll twice and we can try everything. So you saw I was knitting on my hat in the car, and now I'm gonna kind of hunker down because we're staying up kind of late tonight so that I can sleep in before I go into my oral surgery. Yay! But this is how much I've gotten done with this little blue hat that I'm working on, and I'm just kind of knitting until I have no more yarn. And that's that. But now I get to work on my fun, complicated project, the Beauty Berry shawl. It's the wrong side that I am showing you, but I almost have the last color. This is the second to last color that I have. I'm very excited to work the next one and then start over with this color. Can you see what it is? The lighting in here is not so good. It's kind of like a purpley, pinky purple. I feel like it will go very well with my last color here. Talk like this for a second because it's really helping. Thankfully, the pain has not been as bad as I thought it would be. Yesterday, I could not talk into the camera because I don't like the G word, but you know, some absorbing pads in the spots where I had the bone graft. Now it's just a little sore. I think there's some bruising, and I am a little bit puffy, as you probably saw last night. I can't believe I filmed myself. Like, I literally had the operation yesterday. So today I've just been relaxing, eating my soft foods, taking my antibiotics and anti-inflammatory medication and ibuprofen. And I have been knitting today. Oh, let me put that down while I show you all. I got pretty far on my hat. This is my stitch marker from today, so I have worked that. Obviously, it's not very many rows because this is only 48 stitches around. I did have a realization yesterday of what I was going to do with this. I'm actually going to do decreases for the crown of the hat. So I'm going to do it on this side, and then I'm going to pick up these stitches and do it on this side. For some reason, the decreasing seems more manageable than doing increases, just because I would have to do like I think it's called like a circular cast on or something. I can't remember exactly what it's called. That's what I'm going to do for this hat. I think I tried it on yesterday too, and there are little bits and pieces that I cannot remember from yesterday. Might be the anesthesia, let's just say that. I think it's coming out pretty lovely, and I still have, I mean, it's definitely squishy now, but I have quite a bit left at this point. And then I've got my Beauty Berry shawl here. I'm about to move on to this color, which I think if I had to pick a favorite, it would be this corally kind of pink. I don't know, it just feels like a very Maya color. Also, obviously, this like chartreuse stomach bile kind of green, which I keep calling it. Not because I think that's what it looks like, but I think that is what is funny. And I'm all about a good joke. New angle unlocked. Look, the Project Palace in a different light. I've only been sitting over there because couch equals comfortable. Also, I love having the pink light in the background. It feels, I don't know, I feel really cool. We are getting to the end of my, studio vlog week. Also, I've got a nice little matcha here. Oh, let me just take another drink. Oh wait, just one more drink, please. Y'all, it's that time of the year. It's August. It's hot. We need to stay hydrated. Since we're getting to the end of the week, end of my vloggy week, and I still have not yet updated you all on my Make 9 for the year. I am pleased to report that I have made 4 of my 9. First, if you follow me on Instagram, which if you don't, oh my gosh, give me a little follow. The first item that I completed was this Tolsta tee by Rebecca Clow of Creabea. I really don't want to hit the microphone, so I'm just gonna hold it like that. If you all saw my Make 9 video, I made this using Tweety by Hedgehog Fibers. This tee fits me perfectly. I really, really love the fit. There is that. It was a breeze to knit. If you have never knit a t-shirt before, or maybe you've never knit a sweater before and you want to kind of dive into it, I think this is a really awesome pattern to kind of dip your feet in. So that was the first project that I completed. The second one was a pair of socks, and it was initially going to be the Bear Paw socks by Andrea Mowry, but I realized in the sock project, which is by Summer Lee, which I had already purchased, that there was a DK ribbed sock in there. And I thought to myself, you know what? I'm gonna be financially responsible. Maybe the only time this year that I was that. I'm going to be financially responsible and just work this pattern that I already have. So here are the socks that I came up with. Pardon the state of them. I have definitely worn them since I last blogged. Like, that looks dirty. Yikes. Anyways, so here are those socks. Hold on. Let me snag the book. Oh, here I go. Having a rolly chair is amazing. My rolly chair is not the best. It does squeak, but it was $5, so here we go. Is the DK ribbed socks by Summer Lee. Anywho, I completed these. Y'all, if you're feeling in a rut, I think I made these in 2 days. They're just so quick. Like, you do the heel flap and gusset. You're doing the heel flap and you're like, wait, I'm already done? Excuse me. Love these socks. The fit of them is great. I think I have worn them out, but I much prefer to, feel this luxurious mohair and wool at home. The next project that I completed, which you all saw earlier in this video, is my Strawflower shawl by Life is Cozy, Ksenia of Life is Cozy. This shawl was so fun to knit. If you saw my first video, I ended up using the yarn that I said I was going to use, and that is the Wandering Flock yarn. This is their single ply, and then their mohair in the color Sorbet, and this is Sweet Pea, something like that. Everything that I have said in this entire video will be linked down below because Lord knows I cannot count on my memory. If you knit stripes, any kind of stripes, or are doing a lacy motif, let's say, it's like, oh, I just want to get to the next spot, just the next spot. And that's exactly what this was. I'd never done baubles before. That was a learning curve, mostly because it takes a long time. And then this haystack stitch, I felt like a witch when I was doing it. The only thing that I will say is that I did not have enough of the fingering weight yarn, the single ply, to cast off, so I ended up casting off with the mohair. So it is a bit curly here at the bottom, which I don't love. I feel like at some point I'm probably going to unpick that and then use this yarn, the haystack stitch portion and bind off that way and then hopefully make some tassels. I learned how to make tassels this year and it is addictive. If you've never made it, maybe you don't want it. The last of my Make 9 that I have done so far this year is the pressed flowers kerchief. When I made my Make 9, there's got to be a better way to say that. When I initially made my video, I had 2 different yarns that I was going to use, one by, I believe, Amano and one by Feline Fibers, which was a handspun yarn. I could not tell which one was which, and that was really making me angry. So I went in a completely different direction. This white is a leftover yarn that I had, and then this is a Noro yarn. I can't remember what it's called, but I will put that down in the description box below. Sorry, y'all. I don't know anything, but it's this lovely color changing yarn. And I don't know if you noticed, but I kind of snuck in an extra flower down here. But I want to make this again. This was so much fun. Again, like just to the next one, right? When you're like doing increases, because you do increases down to there and then decreases. And it was just so like, oh, when I'm done with the increases, then I get to decrease and then it'll go so much faster. Seriously, I think I made this in a couple of days. It was so much fun and I love the way that this looks. And this yarn is just so much fun. And you just get to see it change. And again, I'm like, oh, if I just get there, then I'll watch it change some more. In conclusion, I'll have to make one of these again. One where I finish it correctly. I mean, I just snuck that bad boy in there. I don't even know what I did. Love, love, love. And I know what you all are thinking. Maya, you just decided to do all of the small things. There's a cardigan, there's 2 sweaters, there's a vest. And I am pleased to announce that I have wound up the yarn for the next project. Is it one of the big ones? Absolutely not. It is the Sweetheart handbag, but that is going to be my little update. And now I've sat myself down. I am going to finish the sleeves of this today of my Tolsta tee, and I am going to wash and block it because I said I would do it, and I at least want to finish something in this video because it's just been a lot of starting things. But look how cute it is. I mean, this looks like it's for a baby. It's just for my baby sister. What a fun week we have had. The first vlog in the new project palace. We finished an object. I ended up finishing that Tolsta tee. We wound up some yarn, spun some yarn. I mean, we had a bloop and a blast, as the baseball people would say. If you know, you know. Oh, this old thing. I'm wearing my Skyline tee by Tori Yu, I'm pretty sure. It is in Knitting for Olive, Cotton Merino in the colorway lime yellow, lime green yellow. It's on the screen and linked down below. Oh, and do you see that little thing in the background? Oh, a little preview into the next video. Thank you all again for joining me in a week-long studio vlog. It was a little weird. Got dental work done. I hope you all had as much fun as I did and got to knit and maybe finish an object. I am manifesting that for you all. Well, if you liked this video, make sure to like it and subscribe to my channel if you would like to see more of me. And I will see you on the next one where I'm making my first. You're gonna have to come back to get that kind of information from moi. Love you guys.